Welcome to my PPSI Assessment 2. My name is Jacob Quarmby and my candidate number is 33575718. In this assessment or presentation, I'll be giving a critical review of online activities which I've completed, including personal, academic and career development, as well as an action plan identifying strategies for future employment. Here is a table of contents for my presentation. I decided to do online courses instead of doing a short placement, as I believe this would help me to focus on the areas that I believe needed the most development by selecting courses which focus on this. As well as this, I was already planning on doing a 12-month placement next year, which we're in the process of sorting. So that's another reason why I decided to do the online courses. So some of the skills that I looked at developing throughout these courses include communication skills, which is a personal skill, problem solving and Excel skills, which are academic skills, operations management and Excel skills, which are career skills. As you can see here, the Excel skills double up as academic and career skills because I found that they can be very handy in both these areas. Throughout the process I've been doing the online courses, I've been using Sean's reflective practice model, which involves reflection in action, so reflecting on behaviour as it happens, as well as reflection on action, so reflecting after the event and evaluating the situation. I like this model as I've always believed that you should be reflecting all the time and finding new ways to improve. However, I've also been using Gibbs' reflective cycle alongside this for a more deeper, in-depth reflection, as I believe it brings out more emotion and reflection and encouraged me to create an action plan for how I can improve in the future based upon these online courses. And you can see Gibbs' reflective cycle there in Appendix A. Now in the next couple of slides I'm going to be explaining what I did in these courses to develop these key areas. On this slide you can see Personal Journal 1, which is describing the first online course that I completed, which was a 60-hour-long CPD accredited Level 7 diploma in leadership and management course on read.com. Now this course took me around 5 weeks to complete, in which I followed a strict plan of doing around 2 hours a night to ensure that I had time to do other courses as well. This course solely focused on career and personal development, including negotiation skills, which would help towards my career development in a sales role, and also helping develop personal skills such as communication skills. This course was assessed using written tasks as well as multiple choice questions after some individual learning, and I passed both of these. And then you can see Appendix B, there's a certificate of completion for this leadership and management course. I'll be describing in future slides how this course helped to develop these areas. Here you can see on the next slide Personal Journal 2, which is describing the second online course that I completed, which was a 20-hour-long CPD course on problem solving. This course took me around 2 weeks to complete, following the same plan which I used in the last course, to ensure that I had time to do other courses as well. Now, this problem solving course helped to develop me in an academic sense as well as career development, and I'll be describing how this course helped me develop in these areas in more detail in the coming slides. Again, this course was assessed using multiple choice questions as well as written tasks after individual learning, and all the courses that I completed are assessed using this method as well. There you can see a marking sheet in Appendix C for my work, in which I achieved a score between 70 and 89%, which was a very good score. Here you can see Personal Journal 3, which is describing the third online course I completed, which was a 20-hour-long CPD course on operations management. This took me 2 weeks to complete, following the same plan I described in the previous slides. As you can see in Appendix D, there's a marking sheet for my work where I achieved an excellent score of 90% plus. In the up and coming slides, I'll describe in more detail how this has contributed to my career development. On this slide, you can see Personal Journal 4, which is describing the fourth online course that I completed, which was a 20-hour-long Excel course by CPD Courses on read.com. Again, I stuck to the same plan I described in the previous slides to complete this course within 2 weeks. Again, this course was assessed using some written tasks, but mainly multiple choice questions. And then Appendix E, you can see a certificate of completion for this course. And again, in the upcoming slides, we're going to describe in more detail how this has contributed to my career and academic development. So focusing more specifically now on my personal development, my communication skills has always been something that I felt needed improvement. And when searching for an online course, I noticed that this leadership and management course had an integrated unit in it, which focused specifically on developing communication skills. And this was Unit 8. And that was one of the reasons why I selected this course, in order to develop this area of my personal development. So in Personal Journal 1, I mentioned that I learned the importance of active listening and was reminded that communication is a two-way process. And this is emphasised by Lunenburg. I often forgot this, and the written tasks in the course have helped me to ask more open questions as opposed to closed questions, which allows people to share their ideas more freely, which will be very useful in brainstorming sessions. Vinton reiterates this, stating that open questions reduce the risk of biased answers and encourage genuine attitudes and views to be unearthed. As you can see, the leadership and management course has helped me to develop this area of my personal development. So focusing more specifically now on my academic development, in Personal Journal 2, I mentioned that I learned the importance of identifying the problem first in the problem solving course that I completed. As part of one of the tasks in this course, I was asked to reflect upon my own problem solving process, in which I realised that I was often only solving a symptom of a wider problem. Therefore, for future tasks, I followed Weisberg's integrated approach to problem solving, which combines analytical thinking in a step-by-step process with insight problem solving, which focuses more on solving the problem on its merits. This helped me to achieve a good score in the assessment of between 70 and 89%. And this will help me in my uni work to solve problems, especially in my MIS choice of a consultancy project, which I'll go into more detail in future slides. However, the course made me realise that I need to work on applying my problem-solving skills creatively to solve more complex problems. I can do this by using methods such as shrinking my environment. Personal Journal 4 refers to how the Excel course taught me how to use functions and formulas to perform calculations, which is useful in my uni work. For example, it's helped me when calculating C5 index and measuring season uncertainty in the sports economics module. The written tasks under time pressure in this course has also encouraged me to write concisely, which is contributing to my academic development. Focusing more specifically now on my career development, these skills have been developed across a number of the courses that I've completed. Personal Journal 1 refers to negotiating skills, which I learned in the leadership and management course as a result of individual learning and then multiple choice assessment, such as making the customer feel valued and allowing for flexibility. Haas in 2012 emphasizes the importance of this in my desired career path in marketing or sales by saying it is all too obvious that the sales function in the practice of marketing has an important role to play in relationships with customers and in creating value in these customer relationships. Again, in this course, I was asked to reflect upon my negotiating skills and previous negotiations that I've done, which led me to realise that I was too cooperative and not competitive enough in negotiations. I feel like after completing this course, I've adjusted my negotiating technique accordingly, which is vital for development in my desired career path in sales. In Personal Journal 2, I mentioned that problem solving will be a useful skill to have in the workplace, especially in the ever-changing industry of sport marketing or sales, as there are constantly new problems arising. DiTizio in 2018 reiterates this. Furthermore, a combination of Excel skills I've learned, which are described in Personal Journal 4, and the skills I developed in the operations management course, such as reading income statements, balance sheets, and cash flow statements, will be a massive help when formulating sales reports in my desired career in sales. This allowed me to achieve an excellent score in the operations management course, which shows excellent career development. The only criticism of this course that I have is that it only gave me a basic understanding in operations management, and therefore in my 12-month placement next year, I hope to improve upon this area in more detail. Now I'm going to focus on some of the skills that I've developed through the online courses that help justify my MAS project, which is a consultancy project. As I mentioned in Personal Journal 2, problem solving skills I've developed, such as identifying the problem more effectively, will help me massively in my MAS choice of a consultancy project, as being able to produce an effective solution to a problem is vital in ensuring that I achieve a high grade in this project. Across all the online courses I completed, I had to complete written tasks under time pressure, which encouraged me to write concisely and effectively and practice using punctuation and grammar correctly. This will help me when delivering recommendations to ensure that I don't waffle. In the next few slides, I'm going to be focusing on my action plan, which explains how I'm going to be developing skills in the future. In the following plan, I've followed SMART goal setting. Quarmby in 2007 explains that SMART is an acronym for specific, measurable, assigned, realistic, and timed, as first published by Duran in 1981 to be used as an effective framework for goal setting. I've selected this method of goal setting as Day and Tossi in 2011 imply that writing objectives clearly in a specific, measurable, and achievable format is the norm for any effective practice. I believe that SMART goal setting is the most effective, and CDC in 2008 reiterates this by stating that writing objectives with SMART statements is the gold standard for goal setting because it gives a clear direction for logical action planning and implementation. So moving on to the action plan itself now, one of my key goals is to increase my employability through experience gained on a 12-month placement. This is to start this July and to end next July. One of my key objectives is to gain experience in a sales or marketing role at a sports organisation, and also to make my CV stand out when competing for a job after university, as Roberts, Caspi and Moffat state that, undeniably, first work experiences have a transforming influence on individuals' future careers and employability. I will know that I've achieved this when I complete training in areas related to marketing and sales, or have positive feedback from my employer, even potentially being offered a job there after university. The actions I've taken to achieve this are that I've already undergone 2 assessment centre days, one for Sky Bet and one for Golf Breaks. Hopefully one of those comes through, but in the meantime, I'll continue to message organisations to try and organise interviews to secure a placement. Another of my goals is to continue to complete online activities and to aid my development in sales or marketing role. And this is ongoing from now until I secure a secure job in marketing or sales. My objectives are to develop further my weaker skills, such as communication skills and problem-solving skills, as well as complete a more in-depth operations management course. As previously mentioned, I felt that the other one was quite vague, and so I want to do a more in-depth one to get better experience in that. I will know that I've achieved this when I receive certificates of completion for online courses. And the actions that I've taken to achieve this are that I'm continuing to search relevant online courses and apply for them. Moving on to a quick summary now. Overall, this presentation has effectively highlighted how I've developed skills through online activities or courses, such as leadership, communication, problem solving, operations management, and Excel skills, which contribute to my personal, academic, and career development. I've also explained skills that I developed which justify my MAS choice as a consultancy project. Lastly, I've created an action plan identifying effective strategies for future employment. Here's a reference list showing all the literature that I've looked at and used in my presentation. Finally, here's a list of all the appendices that can be found in my presentation. Thank you for listening.